How is everyone doing tonight? Y'all hyped for raid night? Getting to step into the Manaforge Omega? To respond to Teresia, yes, that is, if you look at the title of the stream, yes, we are playing World of Warcraft tonight. I am aware it's a great game. And no, last stream we did play WoW. That was yesterday. So, yeah, that's to answer your question. So, anyways, I've basically been spending a chunk of the day either getting more of those attempts on Yogg Saron on alts to not just get heroic pieces on alts, but also, of course, to get my extra chances on Mimiron's head, which it still has not dropped for me, sadly. I do have more opportunities. I do have a few more level 80s that I can be able to take to Yogg Saron and see if I still have a good chance at getting that to drop. And, we'll cross our fingers when that happens. In the meantime, however, I also did, of course, do my preparation for the raid tonight. I was not only watching the guides that our raid leader shared on our Discord, which we use the guides by ready check pull on the fights to learn their mechanics and such, but I also checked out Wowhead to see what they were recommending for the builds that I would need to use for these upcoming fights in this raid. And to my surprise, it looks like Felsguard is back, mainly as a pure single target build. And I think it's mainly because what I learned is that the new tier set that I have, and yesterday I was able to get the 2-piece. So I've got that 2-piece bonus, which is critical for this. And it's what makes this such a strong pure single target build. I'll even go ahead and swap to the game right now to show y'all. Let me go ahead and also turn the music on. Well, music's enabled, it's just kind of not running at the moment. Oh, looks like Details has an update apparently, so music is just kind of like, alright, there we go, there's the music. What I learned is that because of this 2-piece, Immolation Aura deals 30% increased damage and increases the Chaos Strike damage by 20% while it is active. So, because of that, as a result, this is now considered the best pure single target build for Demon Hunters in this raid. Now, from what I've discovered, when it comes to this new raid, there's only 3 of the 8 fights that are pure single target. So it's going to be the first, second boss, and then Fractalus. The other 5 fights are considered cleave fights. So what it actually instead recommends I use for those fights is this build right here, which is with Aldraki Reaver, and it uses Exergy. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this, but it is what it is, I suppose. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but obviously this is going to be a learning experience for me because I'm now having to kind of like get down the rotation of 2 different builds here for this raid. This build right here for the pure single target fights, which is just 3 of them, but then the other one for the other 5 fights. So it's going to be a little bit of a adjustment for me because it's not just, memory in my mind of like what the rotation is, but also muscle memory and stuff like that. So we shall see how it goes. We are, I believe, a half hour away from us actually starting. Some of us are actually logging in. Just as a heads up, I will probably not be as vocal or chatty or responsive during this stream, and this will probably be in the going forward, at least for this initial part, because since this is our first time in the raid as a guild, we're usually going to be taking the time to sit and listen to our raid leader talk about the fights, how they go, what our strategy is going to be, who's going to be assigned to what. So when that does happen, I'm probably just going to go quiet because I'm trying to listen to him. And also, just a reminder, while I'm going to be in the Discord, I have set it up where nothing that is said in the Discord is going to be on my stream or in the VOD. Two reasons: to protect everybody involved, just in case anyone in the Discord is not comfortable with that. The other is because sometimes what goes on in the chats of our raid Discords is stuff that Twitch would probably not be okay with, because we all know how innocent the ears of Twitch are. You know, they're so young and innocent. You know, what is said in our Discord is just not meant for the poor innocent ears of Twitch. Anyways, yeah, let's just say some stuff that is said. And I know I'm not the only one. Our main Blood DK, Jesse, also streams our raid nights, and he also does the same thing. So I'm not the only one taking this approach here. He knows as well as I do that some of the stuff that is said, we would not probably want to have to be on our streams and in our VODs. So yeah, that is a thing. So I'm just letting y'all know that you're only going to be hearing me. And while I will try to be, you know, a nice responsive streamer to anybody watching or joins in chat and wants to, you know, such, you know, blah, 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 I'm also going to try to be, of course, be paying attention and focusing. And I have a tendency to not try to talk when our raid leader is like wanting to actually like address us and tell us some important information, such because, like I said, this is our first time in this raid, so we're all trying to now learn this raid and such. So yeah. Anyways, I'm trying a... Why is it 720? It should not be 720. I'm trying a different browser to use for my stream preview, just to keep an eye on the stream. And it's still showing at 720 when it should be 1080. What's funny is I looked at the VOD. The VOD is fine. The VOD shows stuff at 1080, so... I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all guys why. For some reason, my stream is not going up to 1080 when I do have the correct output settings here on OBS to have it go out to 1080, but for some reason it's just simply not doing it. The output settings are right, the video settings are right, everything is right to have it be put out at 1080-60, and for some reason it's just not quite doing so on the actual live stream, at least based on my stream preview. I hope that's not quite the case for y'all, but I don't know. I mean, I could probably just pull it up here on my phone, just to take a gander at how it looks. And it seems to be fine on my phone, I think. But again, I'm just like, I don't know. As long as it looks fine on y'all's end, that's what matters. But I guess also if it's getting put to 1080 on the VOD, maybe that's also what really matters as well. I don't know. So, anyways. I'm kind of chilling here at the raid entrance near the Summoning Stone, waiting to see for when our raid team is going to be logging on soon and joining. I think some are already just hanging out in the Discord, but not in the actual raid channel. I also incorporated the weak auras. One of our tanks shared the weak aura. Apparently Liquid has already shared the weak auras they are using for the race right now. Usually they don't share these until the race to World First is over, but I guess they were cool with just going ahead and sharing the weak auras they are already using for this raid. So I don't know. Like, I was watching some of their stream earlier today, and like, you know, they're just continuing to do splits both on normal and heroic. So while bringing in other random players to help fill out the group so they can get as much loot as possible to have it funneled to as many people in their raid group as they can. So it is rather amusing, the idea that they're probably going to stick with what they want raid composition wise for certain fights, but they may not get the right loot to drop for certain characters. But that's also why they are trying to have as many splits as they can, because they have a bunch of randos fill out the group, and then they just kind of funnel all that loot to the Liquid players, and then that way they can be able to be like, okay, so this is going to go to this character, this is going to go to this character, and there's probably not that many characters in that split group, so that way they can try to get as much loot to a certain character as they can, and then be able to be like, okay, all the characters we want to take now have all the loot that we want them to have. At least that's what... No, this is my perspective on how it works from the outside without actually having been told how it actually works. So that's just my speculation. Sometimes I'll see my guildmates here already in front of the raid entrance. I haven't spotted anybody yet, but I'm just kind of here. That's a funny name for guild. Action 9 News! Of course, the music for this area is very dramatic and epic. With, of course, the sounds of the swirls of the void. We, of course, got a glimpse of the first few bosses in LFR yesterday, on yesterday's stream. But, of course, how these bosses are on normal compared to LFR, yeah. I've caught a couple of glimpses of the Dimensius fight, very briefly, but not too much. There's guides up for the first 7 bosses of this raid, but not Dimensius, because apparently they did this thing once again where the final boss, it was not testable. So a lot of people don't quite know all the mechanics, other than that it's definitely not a single target fight, it's also a complete fight with ads. So, however, I mean, the boss has already gone down. People have already been taking the boss down on normal and even on heroic, but no one has still pulled on mythic. Hello, Kiwi! Good to see you. I'm just chilling here waiting for our raid night to start. We're going to be starting at 7:30 usually, so I'm just here at the entrance of the raid waiting for some of my guildmates to show up, and of course waiting for some of them to hop into our Discord. So I was just explaining about how when that does happen, I may not be very chatty tonight because I'll probably be listening a lot, mainly to the raid leader when he's, this is our first time in this raid, so this is a full learning experience for all of us. Even though I watched all the guides about these fights tonight, watching videos about the fight and then actually getting in there and experiencing the fights personally are two different things when it comes to learning. So, plus he's probably going to want to go over strategies for like, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to go over here, I'm assigning you to handle this mechanic. That's the kind of stuff we usually go over when we step into a raid for the first time. Several weeks from now, when we are like progressing on heroic, we'll already know the fights. We'll just be kind of like trying to get certain things down, because of course it gets much harder. Not to mention we'll of course be working on our gear and such. So you'll get to see, I don't know if you've ever seen what raids are like in World of Warcraft, but you'll get to see what they're like tonight. This is the latest, newest raid added to World of Warcraft. Just as a reminder, dungeons are the kind of smaller 5-man content. Raids are the big, giant uber dungeons, to kind of compare it, where it's not 5 people, it can get up to 30 people, at least up to heroic. Mythic, they only allow 20 people. So if you're going to enter Mythic, your 20 people have to be uber geared, like ready to take them on at the highest level. But yeah, we can be able to go in with as many as 30 people, but this does offer problems. While we get more loot to drop because we have more people, it can also cause a lot of lag issues because, of course, this is an online game, so yeah. With how buggy this... oh my gosh, I have just today alone swapping back and forth between my characters to get into the time-walking Ulduar, and I think I know what's causing it, and it only happens when I go to the Collections tab and I go to the Appearances. The moment I try to look at some kind of transmog or that I have in my Appearance collection, that's when the screen all of a sudden glitches out and I guess freezes the screen and for the stream. So if that does happen, I wouldn't have to actually stop the stream. I would just simply have to close the game and reopen it in order to actually fix the screen on the stream. So hopefully that won't happen. I'm going to try my best to avoid opening the Appearance tab tonight so I don't have to do that during the raid, because me having to close the game and reopen it while we are in the process of raiding is just going to slow us down. And well, that's one thing our raid leader does not want, is for us to slow down our progress during this 3-hour window that we have. Oh, it looks like invites are open. There we go. They have this thing where all you have to do is just whisper INV and it just automatically invites you into the raid group. So, and yes, that is one of our tanks. We call him Bull. he has a tendency to name his characters in a rather interesting way. Let's just say he has a very interesting sense of humor, to the point where this is one of the reasons why nothing that's going to be said in our Discord is ever going to make it into my stream or stream VODs. Because, well, let's just say the poor innocent ears of Twitch are not ready for that. So to speak. And let me check, and it looks like some of them are already hopping to the raid channel, so I'm going to go ahead and do that myself. I actually have streamer mode enabled for the Discord, so it's going to try to kind of truncate a lot of their usernames and such. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn down the audio of the game itself, because I don't want the audio of the game to prevent me from being able to listen to what's being said in Discord. So I apologize if this ends up being kind of a quiet stream, but I do need to make sure I hear everything that's going on when it comes to in the Discord, when it comes to us talking about the raid and such. So apologies ahead of time if this ends up being a very quiet stream. I'll try to be as responsive as I can be when it allows, but I do also need to make sure I'm paying attention to what's going on. So alright, let's hop in. And of course, I have myself as set up to be push to talk in the Discord, so I can just chat with you guys without them hearing any of that. So I think they're discussing some of the weak aura stuff that they posted that could help us with the fights, so. Sounds like they're discussing the possible paths we could take in this raid. Sometimes raids will have a linear path, and then sometimes they will have it where you can choose which boss you want to do after a certain amount, and be like, we want to go do this boss next. So I haven't seen the layout of this raid yet, but we'll find out. Oh, there's apparently a chat going on in the officer channel, which I guess is not surprising. That's actually kind of a common thing to happen before raids, so. I'd probably recommend asking Sedated once he gets here. Oh, I didn't know that. You didn't watch those Ready Check Pull guides? So it turns out our raid leader is actually not going to be here this week. I was actually unaware of that. So more than likely that probably means that Bull, our tank, or one of our tanks, the other is Jesse, is probably going to be calling the shots tonight, which, let's just say, that's led to comedic things in the past. I've joked at times that when Sedated is not here, it's kind of like the inmates are running the asylum for our raid nights. Oh my goodness. I do miss our old raid leader Fury, and I was so sad when I heard he passed away. But ever since today, it has become our raid leader. Raids have been so much more fun and enjoyable. Not that they weren't under Fury, but we also, after Fury passed, we had somebody else leading our raids for a period of time. It wasn't quite the most pleasant experience for some of the people in the guild. But once the day took over, a lot of us felt like we were just having fun raiding again, you know. So I am sad that he's not going to be here tonight. But, you know, it happens. Especially on the first night that we're stepping into the new raid, so. This is going to be a very odd experience for me because I'm having to learn, get very much used to how this is supposed to work. And I was practicing on the training dummy earlier to try and get this new rotation down. The idea of that I'm having to constantly, of course, pop my immolation aura, not necessarily for the AoE damage, but to get the single target damage from my Chaos Strike, which is why it's apparently ahead right now when it comes to pure single target damage compared to the other one. So we'll see how that goes. And it's a known mover one, which is great for me because it means I don't have to do the old way of having to keep my movement up in order to keep my damage buff up, which has led to issues in the past. It's one of the reasons a lot of us Demon Hunters complained about that. However, it looks like that is back right now because the other, which is going to be the case with 5 of the 8 fights here, is going to be this single target build for Eldrazi Reaver, which also uses Exergy. So that means I'm going to have to be moving, or at least utilizing the Hunt and Vengeful Retreat quite a bit, just to get my 5% damage buff up a lot of the time. So that is going to be rather unfortunate, but considering that 5 of the 8 fights have adds and cleave, I kind of don't have much of a choice if I want to try and get the most out of my damage output. But right now, you know, at least when it comes to the first week, how much damage and such we're doing is not really the important thing, because a lot of us are still kind of like in these first couple days just trying to get what we can gear-wise to kind of elevate ourselves to be at a decent level. Like, we'll hopefully get some nice gear to be able to help get some people up in terms of item level. Right now, this is about learning the fights, learning the mechanics, people learning their assignments and how to do the mechanics properly as a group. So it's just unfortunate that our main shot caller is not going to be here tonight, but, you know, it is what it is. And we're all just kind of like chilling in the channel at the moment. No one's really talking at the moment because I think we're waiting for whatever chat is going on in the officer's channel to be done before we all kind of assemble to enter the raid and start checking the raid out. I will say though, usually in the past we've had just like a green portal to indicate the raid entrance. I don't really see a green portal here, but I do see this gigantic purple portal of the void. So I'd say that's enough of an indicator that, yep, this is the entrance of the raid right here. So, also did it swap? Oh, that's odd. Why did it swap? Oh, that's right, because I was looking at that specific one when I was on the training dummy earlier. There we go. Bull had it set to Mythic. But then again, I think I do because I, of course, have gone back to older raids on Mythic. I don't think we're stepping in right now yet. Are we? Well, I guess some are. They're kind of like, yeah, will I go in? Yeah, maybe not. It's so amusing that I still have this on my screen here because of the world quest that's up in this area right now. I'm like, I'm not doing the world quest right now. Get this off my screen. But it will go away once we enter the raid. Still about 9 or 8 minutes away from us actually starting the raid. Of course, I can see several of my guildies here. Acrylic, Dharma, Iris, Moon, Bruggen. I think, is Synox new? And I think Sacred Forge might be new as well. I wonder if Krillic is at some point going to poke his head into my stream. I know Dharma's poked her head, and we actually chatted on a stream like last week, I think. Or a couple weeks ago. Look at the cute mog that Dharma's rocking now with the hat and such, with that sunflower staff. Just trying to get as many people in here. Sometimes people just straight up forget. They just straight up forget. Oh yeah, that's right. Raid's going on. Of course, the really annoying part is also when people forget to sign up, which is today it's just constantly like, hey, sign up. Alright, so it looks like they came back from their chat. And I guess Bull's indicating he's going to give it like a few more minutes before we actually start. Just to give time for any last minute people to join. So they basically just confirmed to me that yes, though they are new. Dharma was asking somebody in our Discord. I was like, "Are you this character?" And they just answered there. So, yeah, Fear is still in the guild too. I mean, I know he's active because he's been poking into my stream like just yesterday. They're talking about Fear. No, I was chatting with him in my stream yesterday. I can assure you he's not. Dharma was showing off your transmog on my stream. She was like, "Thank you, I love this." So, for those of you who may not know what this is, for those who perhaps are a little like late or stragglers or don't, they don't like making their way toward the raid entrance, they put this here to allow us to be able to summon folks. Now, back in the day, this was never a thing. Like, the only way that would happen is if you had a warlock in the group and they had a closet or a summoning portal, I guess it's what's actually called. And we would use that to summon people here, so. So it sounds like Dharma's actually running things tonight instead of Bull. And I'll be honest, that actually makes me happy. I much rather prefer Dharma being in charge. I mean, she is our guild master now, but yeah, I prefer her being the one calling the shots instead of Bull. Yeah, I think that's what it was, yeah. Biss, yeah, off-spec, and transmog, I think is what the 3 choices we were using. That's right, upgrade. So this is the add-on we use to determine who gets what loot. We're just kind of explaining it to the group. These are different options we choose depending on, how we determine people get the loot. So if it's listed on our Wowhead list of what they say is our best in slot gear, then you can hit the best in slot button. Otherwise, there's other buttons there like off spec or upgrade or transmog. So that's how we try to determine it. We hit those buttons, and then whoever has the highest roll is what ends up winning the piece. So there's other add-ons that have been used for this in the past, like Soft Reserve and Loot Council, but this is the one we actually end up using and like the most, honestly. So. Ooh, look at this way we enter the raid. Okay, that's a really cool way to enter the raid. And you can easily find out on CurseForge if you use that. Yeah, Gargul. Just trying to get that add-on set up, so. There was another one we used in WoW Classic Season of Discovery. I forget what it was actually called, but it was basically a soft reserve item where before we went to the raid, you could reserve 2 items that you were wanting, that in case they did drop, you would have claimed the reservation that that item was yours. If multiple people picked that same one, you could roll it off. But it was essentially the same kind of thing, and I really liked how we used it. So I think either one is actually fine in terms of like what guild or raid group could use. This is a very small group tonight. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna start taking care of trash here, so. So we may be down a lot of people here tonight. So yeah, we're going to be out several people tonight, unfortunately, so. I probably should not be using this build against trash. Like, you know, I probably should have just swapped back to my other build for the trash and then swapped to my single target build. Let's just say I've had situations. Yes, it is.
We have tripped the Manaforge's security measures and cannot materialize. Destroying this construct should lower the Manaforge's defenses.
Analyzing. Contaminants detected.
So now they're discussing like putting down the stuff for the group, which are usually called cauldrons, where the group can be able to pull things from them, such as flasks and potions, which are various different things that can give us buffs, like this right here. So this, I can be able to grab a flask for myself. There we go. And if I can click on it, sometimes, unfortunately... Alright, so this one, I'll grab my tempered potion ones. And we actually have the full rank 3 version. That's great. Actually, I can't click on because they're in the way. I'm going to go ahead and eat the feast, though. Yeah. That's just because a bunch of people are standing around it, so... Alright, so usually we take just 20. You know, have the 20 of them. And then we grab a second one and pop that as well, so... Yeah, they are called the Invigorating Healing Potions, in case you don't know. What's great about this is that this is a hearty feast. A lot of the times when you get a food buff, if you die, the food buff goes away. But a hearty feast makes it where it actually persists through death. So, like, this will give us a buff to our primary stat, which means I do more damage. A flask like this one will help out with my secondary stats. What the potions do here is that it gives me a temporary massive buff to some of my stats for a period of time. So usually you want to use these at the beginning of a raid fight. So when we pull the boss, we pop that, and if we do like our big cooldowns and such, that's where you do the most amount of damage. So, and it looks like some people are joining us a little late here. So let me see here. Yeah. So there is like the new, they stocked up our guild bank with a lot of the new potions here for the guild to use. I have my own, so because I consider it not only a polite thing to bring your own, but that way I also don't use the guild's resources when I can just simply use my own personally. So we just realized that we don't have a warlock, so the latecomer Mal here has to make his way over here to us, so. We must construct additional pylons. Inducing nausea. But yeah, I don't really have to grab the stuff from the guild bank myself because I made sure to actually grab my own stock. I just realized I have 4 of these. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have plenty of these once I actually get to the part in the Delver's Journey where I can actually like benefit from that. So Bull is kind of giving us a little summary of what we're going to do with this fight here, so... Not a very detailed explanation, just kind of a quick little summary, so... So, all right, we're gonna put it back here. You're gonna drop your stuff here, and yeah, it's good. So this fight is one of the reasons why we have this cloak here, because it gives us an extra action button where we can phase through a wall that would otherwise kill us. Yeah, there is a group soak, yeah. All right. Oh, this is one of the things I love about this little weak aura I have here. It's a reminder of other buffs I forgot. I didn't put my oils on my weapons, which buffs my weapon power. So there we go. Or rather, that's not what it actually buffs. It actually buffs my critical strike and my haste for 2 hours. So it's a nice reminder before we pull. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta do this and this and this. So I love that particular weak aura.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the fleeting one? Yes. My rotation's going to be all off because, again, I'm trying to not only... Oh my gosh, Dharma already got killed. Oh, there's the wall. So, yeah, that wall, yeah, we need to move up so we don't get hit by that wall. As Dharma just learned. So, yeah, I guess we're going to wipe, try again. Just dash into the wall. It'll kill you. Raid night, folks! Because when he knocks us back, we don't want all that in the middle, because that's, you know, where we're going to need to run. So that's why we got to drop it on the sides of the room.
Alert. Pollutant level high. Immediate purge required.
Yeah, and I didn't remember that happening when I tried this on LFR yesterday. I was like, huh, Dharma's dead already. I don't remember it being there yesterday in LFR. So maybe they just turned that off in LFR. This is a little different than what I recall watching in the video. But Bull usually has certain strategies to accommodate the group, so... It's a little unusual based on what I was seeing, because when I was watching the video from Raycheck Pull, they were basically saying just go ahead and tank it in the middle of the room there, but Bull wants to tank it over here. So I guess because he wants to have the DPS not do as much running.
4,
Not really an issue for me because I'm a demon hunter,
2,
but you know,
1.
whatever. Sure. Gosh, it has been a while since I played Fellscarred. I loved it and I missed it, but man, it's just so not what I've been used to. I have to retrain my muscle memory for this particular spec here. Went ahead and dropped my darkness just to help out with that. I love Dharma calling the raid mechanic. She's actually really good at it.
Alert. Pollutant level high. Immediate purge required.
Yeah. Get ready to use your extra action button on the wall here.
Purging lightning.
Yeah, avoid the traps while also getting the shield down. Yep.
Purging lightning. Purging lightning. Obliteration Arcane of Cannon. Eradicating Salva. Obliteration Arcane of Cannon.
Well, I haven't had any of the mechanics target me yet, so.
Eradicating Salva.
So one of the good things about having a smaller group is that it actually reduces the amount of health that the boss has, so we don't have to do as much. But of course, it also reduces the amount of loot we're gonna get after we kill this boss. So that is the downside. It's like, yeah, we'll have less health to deal with, but unfortunately, we are also gonna get less loot out of this. So.
Obliteration Arcane of Cannon.
Alright, here's the knockback to the.
Annihilation protocol engaged.
Purging lightning.
And now is where we popped our bloodlust here. Rawr, 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 rawr. No. Yeah, we did it. We did now.
Purging
But
lightning.
honestly, this is a good part for it to help us get the shield down. Yeah, especially on heroic when we do this later. I will say, even though I'm trying to literally remember how this is going to work, or, you know, with this new rotation and such, I'm actually doing well according to the damage meter. Which I'm glad. You know, I'm not someone who needs to be at the top or anything. I just want to know that I'm actually doing my contribution to the group and such. That's what matters to me. Like, am I doing my part?
Obliteration Arcano Cannon. Eradicating Salvo.
Another soak. I actually got stunned there, but fortunately I have another walk to help me out here in that situation. There we go. I mean, I don't need any of these, so. We're a little out of practice. Yeah. Alright, so this is probably going to be a great time for an ad break. We took down the boss. It's going to take a little while to get to the next boss, so. Yeah, and Krillic, I'll bet there are some mages that have already like discovered whether or not like you could either use regular blink or the extra button or both. I don't know, but I'm sure they've already tested that out. Al and Mal. Rob Stock. Oh! Oh! I just got our first BOE. Well, yeah, of course I'm curious how much it would probably go for in the auction house right now. Nah. you just jumped through. Whee! No, that they really want you. Oh, and now I died for some reason.
The other to the mage who binds them.
I went through the portal. All of a sudden, I died.
Guard, do what you will.
But you know, they really want you to use that extra action button in this raid.
For the Manaforge.
Blizzard says, you'll use it and you'll like it. Well, these are items I'm just going to pass on because I don't need any of them. You check, yeah, we use the Wowhead list. Just keep in mind that, of course, anyone who rolls Biss is going to get priority, so. We actually have a couple new people, so I actually do need to help contribute to informing them how we do things as a guild here in our raid. I think I need to go ahead and... Krillic is testing out the portal for science. just curious about how this is gonna work out for Krillic. Come back, Krillic. Hey, there we go. It's so funny that basically Felsguard went from being a massive AoE damage spec in the first season of this expansion to now it's considered the best pure single target
The
spec.
beast the Manaforge uses
Because
to
of this
create
tier
the
set.
Shadow God's findings is up ahead. It must be slain. I will stay here and make sure no one comes to its defense.
They're complaining about having to click on the extra action button instead of click on the portal. Oh gosh. And then they're like, that's too much work. Yeah. Touch it and find out. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's something we'll be dealing with the next boss. No, but it's just giving you an idea of what we're going to be dealing with here because there's a lot of silk in here. Although there is when we get to the next level in the rep, the renown, we're apparently going to be able to get more silk from this boss, I guess. So apparently I don't know who's going to be using silk, but apparently that's a enticing reward, apparently. I'm not used to us only having 15 people in our raid group for raid night. This is very unusual for us to have this few amount of people. But, you know, stuff happens. Real life and all that, you know. I think I really do need to swap to my other spec right now because of all this trash. I can't because that's on cooldown. That's the one and only thing about swapping specs. When something's on cooldown, you cannot do that. I understand why. Some people would absolutely exploit that if they could. But, you know. Alright. The thing is, I've gotten so used to Eldraki Reaver over this past season that's why it was like, oh, okay. Like, there's definitely more throughput and funnel damage, which is why it's considered so good in cleave fights. It is nice to be able to see, like, it's like, oh, okay, I'm still doing pretty well. I was actually a little concerned. But it's nice to see that I'm actually, even this early on, I'm still doing well. That was also something for people to do while they were also farming Ulduar for like the legendary and such. We're discussing about how Trial of the Crusader back in Wrath was actually a pretty great raid in the sense that it had no trash. It was just boss after boss. Yeah, some people hated it, but it was honestly actually pretty good. It was just an extra thing that people got to do while they were also still working on farming Ulduar at the time. Some people gave it a bad rep, but honestly, it's actually not that bad. It's actually a pretty good raid. Especially when you don't want to deal with all this trash you have to go through. You just want to fight the bosses. I'd much rather prefer the other. Yeah. Yeah, like earlier when I was double checking what are considered the new builds that I should be using, it then just kind of like, oh, it took some stuff off my bars. I got to put that back on. Yeah, I got swaps like builds like from boss to boss in this raid. Yeah, this is where all that silk comes from. Yeah, pure single target. Other than the one thing we gotta destroy for the ring that's gonna close in on us. Yeah, I think it's the intermission. Oh yeah, do we have a hammer for Nos? So the way this boss is going to work is some of us are going to get tethered, and we have to run back out here to break the tether to make sure that we don't get tons of damage and we can get healed. Once that breaks, it's going to put some silk on the ground. The thing is then later on, it's going to have this big circle that we have to avoid by running out here, which is why we can't have silk everywhere, because we need places to stand. Otherwise, it's going to really hurt. Because if we're in that circle, we die. And this is going to be a lot of what phase 1 of the fight is. Phase 2 happens at 50%, where that thing is going to break from, I guess it's sack, I'll call it, and be on the ground here. And this is where the DPS heavy portion of the fight for us begins, because the rest of the room starts to like it starts to get more covered up with like arcane energy as well as silk. It's also going to be doing a lot of these big frontal cones. So we're going to have to be working on that during the second part of the fight. Dharma's talking about the fight to the group. It reminds me of the Queen Alien from Alien vs. Predator when she's like held up like that to make more of the xenomorph eggs. Now I'm a dwarf. And I think I'm a am I a troll now or an elf? Hold on. Oh, I'm a night elf now. Okay. And now I'm a mecha gnome and a goblin. And I'm just kind of back to being myself. Lol. Alright. Ah. I'll just go ahead and go back to being me. Hold on. There we go. No, yeah, that's heroic only, yep. Alright, let's get our first pulls in.
5,
Make sure the
4,
group knows what to do
3,
here.
2, 1.
I didn't, did I swap back to my, I did not, did I? I totally forgot to do that. Wow. Or did I? Or maybe I did. No, I did. Okay. I actually for a moment forgot that I had, whether or not I had swapped back to my Felsguard spec here. So. We told them not to drop it on the markers, and they dropped it on the markers, so lol. Alright, target the tangle. Alright. Alright, so now we have a lane to get out of this big
More
circle.
than more.
There will be in a minute.
Over infusion.
There's a
burst.
circle, run. Outside, yep.
Layer weaving.
Now we target the tangle. There we go. So now we are able to run out of the circle. And they are getting pulled in. That's bad. They just got hit by that, which stunned them. Yeah. So when that overlaps, that's really bad.
Over
Unfortunately.
infusion burst.
And probably just an overlap there. Alright, so soon when we hit 50%, we'll be getting to the second part of this fight. Alright, so it's happening now. Yes.
Writhing wave.
Soak.
Arcane outrage.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll figure that out when we get to heroic.
Writhing wave. Arcane outrage. Rising wave. Arcane outrage. Rising wave.
I probably need to drop darkness for like maybe
Arcane
the next soak or
outrage.
something, so.
Rising wave. Arcane outrage.
So yeah, you can see why this is the DPS race portion of the fight right here. The way that the arcane is just covering up the
Rising
entire
wave.
floor here. Group soak. Yeah, on heroic we're
Arcane
actually going to have to
outrage.
alternate those soaks. Because of the debuff, it's actually going to put on this. So, there we go. One shot it.
Without that beast, the Shadow God's numbers will dwindle.
Ooh, a
Return
tier.
to the center
Oh,
of the
wait.
Manaforge.
That's
We need
leg.
to determine the next
Oh,
course of action.
I'll be rolling an Abyss on that, of course. So that, my Abyss trinket does drop from this boss. It's not that one, though. The Abyss trinket that drops from this boss, for me, is this one right here. This is my absolute Abyss trinket, but didn't drop today, so oh well. Well, I'm going to go ahead and swap to my other build right now, because the next boss is going to require it. That's only 2 of the 3 bosses that I'm going to be using that Fellscarred build on. Everything else I'm going to be having to use this other build with, which is going to be a little, like, you know, different, obviously, but that's how it goes. I will, of course, be rolling Abyss on that. Don't I automatically win 69? I rolled a 69, I should automatically win. Oh, Jesse's passing, probably because he wants to wait, because he wants to get hero track, so I guess I won it. Because nobody else rolled. Yay! Alright, so that's going to give me 3-piece then. Nice. I like that we're doing all these tests for science. First night in. This is the kind of stuff that happens. Testing out all these things in this raid for science. What is my current legs at the moment? Oh, it's from the previous one. Oh, yeah. And I'm passing on that. Because that is not one of my best trinkets right there. There we go. Carcer.
Souls are plucked from the void and bound with special silk made in the Manaforge. Kill the soul binder to cripple their reinforcements. I will keep any security measures from impeding you.
feel like I should call you Dee Dee. Dee Dee, stop pushing the button! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, Nos. Someone was just like, hey, can you explain... So, my buddy Nos said a rather dirty joke, and then someone jokingly said, can you explain that, please? See, this is why Jesse and I have our streams muted to the Discord. Maybe not for you, but for the poor innocent ears of Twitch, oh, it's too much. No, I didn't say internet, I said Twitch, specifically. Oh. There's my tier piece. Thank you. I'm mainly making jokes about the innocent ears of Twitch, mainly in regards to their TOS and such, you know. But, you know, because you never know. I may be making it too big a deal out of it, but you never know, so. So that's 3 pieces. Oops. Again, another joke that just kind of made me go, oh gosh. Rather mature joke, but you know, don't pick the appearance thing. Don't click the appearance thing. I can do that later, not right now. As much as I want to, I will do it later. Maybe in certain states. And what was just said is why I have it muted. I'm not gonna say what it was. Oh my gosh. These are very fun, entertaining nights. No, there's a lot of trash. Yeah, I mean, it's a point because there's going to be quite a few ads and such in this fight, so. You know how they like to use trash to let us know what the mechanics are going to be in the fight. So we're going to be dealing with those containers along with, that's the boss right there. The way that this kind of works is that we do have to make sure we are taking out these ads before they actually manifest into really dangerous ads. We can't break those containers that they're in, but the boss can. The boss is going to target us with lines that we have to stand, make sure we target that line at the container. which will break it open and then allow us to take out those ads before they become the big bad ones. And that's going to be one of the big reasons why this is a cleave fight. And that's basically one of the absolute main things here is make sure we are dealing with the canisters, with the ads, while also dealing with the boss. Is pretty much the main thing.
You are not bound. Come, give me your soul, or my children will take it from you. To me, my shadow guard!
And there's going to be 3 different types of ads. Or actually, I think the third one might be just on heroic, actually. Yeah, it's the trash that's going to then make the boss targetable.
I will not let you interrupt my rituals!
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's another mechanic I learned in LFR yesterday, which is you'll get targeted with, like, spikes around you. It's going to shoot out orbs, so you just got to get away from the group. There's also a explosion that could actually knock you off the platform, so you got to make sure that you're not in a position where you can get knocked off. Now, because I'm a demon hunter, I don't have to necessarily worry about that much, but yeah, so I kind of showed off some of this fight yesterday in LFR, so now we're going to see the normal version, so. And then the rest of the raid is basically going to be, like, new to us, since these first 3 have been available in LFR, so. You know, a lot, yeah. Yeah, but sometimes,
5,
you know, you don't really learn until you
4,
actually get in there and
3,
actually experience it.
2, 1.
How dare you interrupt my sacred fight? You will die by my hand, interloper.
Soul call.
I command you, rip away their offending flesh.
Just go ahead and... Yeah, so that's basically how we handle that, so... I did that only because of, Oh no. Dharma's computer froze and Bull died, so... This might be a wipe.
My hand, interloper.
Not sure. That's probably why we're keeping the boss there, because we do need to get these other tubes over here, but before those casts go off. But yeah, hold on. Just gonna let them try to get there as fast as they can. Let's see. Oh, that's not far. Yeah. Yeah, they just stopped and went back. I was like, oh, okay.
Arcane expulsion.
Are my children. You will die by my hand, interloper.
And I'm so glad I'm a demon hunter. Mines are out, so those are about to go off. Alright. Now we can DPS these down. We kind of had a technical issue, so this may not be the greatest. Yeah, we're probably going to have to deal with all those other ads over there. Incoming ads.
You will die by my hand, interloper.
Arcane expulsion.
Harm my children.
So I'm basically cleaving the ads with everything. Al just got knocked off, I think. Bye, Al. Alright, so not too bad, but obviously we gotta clean that up for future pulls, and especially when we do this on Heroic, because I imagine it's gonna be far less forgiving. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. We'll see how this goes, and unfortunately, it only got 2 of them, so... It's one of the reasons I need to make sure those things are actually on a button, because having to click that is rather unfortunate and annoying, so... Yeah, the Phase Blade is actually considered pretty strong, so I thought it was Heroic only, but apparently not. Apparently it's also right here, so... So that was my misunderstanding, but then again, the guide wasn't entirely sure whether or not the Phase Blade was going to be Heroic only or not anyway, so... But it looks like it's actually part of, like, normal as well, so... It's just considered probably, like, the most dangerous of the 3 ads we have to make sure we get rid of. I am way over here in the corner.
Arcane expulsion.
Harm my children.
That's quite the knockback.
You will die by my hand, interloper.
You will die by my hand, interloper. Mm-hmm. As I was saying when we did this in LFR, it's like, you are not the first to tell us that, lady. And you will not be the last. Yep. Incoming! Just in case, try to help mitigate some of the damage that these ads are doing to us. I don't think they're going to hurt that bad, but still. Ideally, you want to focus the boss while somebody step out. Okay, okay. And just kind of like cleave onto the ads. Now the knockback's going to happen, and of course you want to make sure that you're not getting knocked back into all those things, because those are going to hurt.
You will die by my hand, interloper.
Soul calling.
Since I'm going to be using this build a lot, I'm going to have to make sure I assign that button, or that ability to a different button here, so... Little messy there, but, you know. That's one of the things I love about the hunt. Just get right back to where I was, or where I need to go. Of course, that's going to have a different implication when we get to the Soul Hunters fight, because it's going to be rather amusing seeing basically my class on full display for a council boss fight in this. With a tease of a possible extra spec in the next expansion, which I am obviously very excited about. But we'll see. Oh gosh. I like how Krillic's minion just simply stood there like, what? I ain't scared. Incoming!
Arcane expulsion.
Harm my children. You will die by my hand, interloper.
No, no. Yeah, there we go.
Shadowguard must rise. He cannot return to the void.
Now, no more Shadow Guard will be bound. I will stay here to see if any unbound can be saved. Go. Return to the center of the Manaforge. We must
Yeah,
stop
I think
the
it's okay to
enemies
need on
before they
cosmetics, so... Alright, I'll give it to you, Cursor. Alright, let me go ahead and trade that to Carcer. We're all rolling best for the cosmetic. And what did I roll? 72. Oh, Krillic 96.
In the next chamber, Araz uses his machine to
Jesse
feed
wants
our
golf
energy
rules.
into the dark heart. Kill the Manaforger before he wakes Dimensius. I've brought down the security system blocking the way.
Yeah, that does actually look pretty cool. The Forge Weaver. Tier piece for different class. Hello, Xalatath.
If it isn't my favorite mortal.
I mean, I was the only one who rolled on the tier earlier, so. We made you a legendary cloak. You're going to use it and like it, said Blizzard. Male feet. Zalatos. Yeah, Zalatos. Yeah, based on what I already have, that's actually, I mean, I guess it is champion. So I guess I could roll it as an upgrade, but nah. So, because it'd be replacing my veteran Warglaive, so it technically would be an upgrade, so. So nobody else rolled upgrade for it, so. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, it is agility, so. Yeah. So it looks like I won those. And they have haste and mastery, so they actually are better than the Warglaive I have. Because the Warglaive I have has versatility. Blech. Which is just the most unimportant stat for a Demon Hunter, at least among secondary stats. Technically, according to Wowhead, agility is apparently the least prioritized stat for Demon Hunters. Havoc Demon Hunters, but I mean, it is our primary stat, so that's technically not true, but I don't know, sometimes I wonder how much we're actually prioritizing the primary stat compared to all the other secondary stats, so. I wonder. Oh. I think it might be either way based on what I'm seeing here on the map. Because I think it might be just down below. Possibly? Who wants to jump and find out? That's what I meant. I didn't mean... I meant jump and fall. Whee! Yep, it is the cloak, yep. No, I knew they were going to have us use this a lot when they were talking all about it in the preview video. We have somebody, she is just non-stop complaining about having to use this extra action button. And I'm just like, this is not that big a deal, but she just can't stand it. Alright, so I have my new fist weapon. I can't enchant it right now, so I'm just going to hold on to it. Wouldn't be the best of ideas to go and equip it right now. Mm-hmm. Bull was like, oh, I got a buff from touching these things. Oh, why am I dying so much? Turns out you shouldn't mess with these too much because they'll actually do a lot of damage. It was quite amusing, just like him, like, oh, a buff. Oh, why am I hurting so much? Wait, what does this do? Oh, yeah. Alright, I think we're finally at the floor where the boss is. Alright, so yeah, he's gonna be on the, right through here. 2 more of these ads to fight before we reach the boss. So this next boss, from what I saw in the guide, is going to be quite the fight. Quite involved when it comes to its mechanics. I'm very curious how it's going to go for us. And I think even in the guide, the guy was like, alright, this is where the bosses start to really ramp up. Because the first 3 bosses are like, okay, that's like a nice entry level for the raid. This is where the raid really starts to kick up in terms of its complexity and its mechanics and how tough the bosses are actually going to be. So we'll see how this next one goes. So since I haven't done this one yet, it's going to be Forge Weaver Araz. Forge Weaver Araz controls all operations within Manaforge Omega, ensuring a constant flow of energy into its central chamber. He now stands as the first witness to Dimensius's rebirth, and will strive to see his work through at all costs. So this guy is basically the one running everything. Alright.
I will not allow the disruption of Lord Demencius' resurrection.
I like how he looks like just like a very different looking Void Lord. Or not Void Lord, but, you know, like the Void Walkers that the Warlocks have. Which I think is kind of cool, actually. Hi, Calamity. Is she on? No, she's not. Calamity, if you want to watch, you can check out my stream if you want to watch. Apparently she's watching streams, just probably not mine. I am not offended, of course. There are a ton of other streams. I mean, right now World of Warcraft has a ton of viewers because of the race, so... Wait, oh my gosh, she did? Yep. Yep, as they are supposed to be. Just because a wall all of a sudden appeared behind us and insta-killed them. I have heard that after those first three, this is where the raid kind of starts to kick up in terms of difficulty, starting with this guy here. At least that's what the Ready Check Pull Guides guy says. So we have, in our Discord, we have a Quotes Gone Wrong channel where somebody will say something that out of context sounds rather amusingly funny, and we know that's not what they meant, and yet, well, let's just say out of context, it's quite funny. So, quotes that sometimes get said during raid that's out of context sound hilarious make it into this channel, which, yeah, Dharma made it into the channel tonight. Because sometimes she'll say things without meaning to, or meaning to sound a certain way, and yet that's just kind of how they sound, which just makes us laugh. I'm not going to... Do not ask me to repeat or say read what was said. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is just for us, not for the streams, not for Twitch, and for them to contact me and be like, "What was on your stream?" Which I know sometimes is not that bad, you know, compared to what other streamers have on their streams. But you know, I feel like with me being relatively new and upcoming. I don't want to risk anything compared to some of the other bigger streamers that I'm sure are much more protected than that. So we're just taking a little break here for the time being, partly because Jesse had to leave and go. I think he had to go walk his dog because his dog had to go out to take a potty break. So since since one of our tanks is away, we have to take a moment to chill. So. And we're actually approaching the halfway point for our raid night. When we kind of get going into a new raid here, we extend it to the full 3 hours that we do for raid, and then we'll continue this tomorrow night again from the same time of 7:30 to 10:30 Central Time, my time. When we start to reach a point where we are able to do reclears and such at a much faster pace and such later on, we will usually cut it down to 7:30 to 10, so that some people, in case they start to get tired or sleepy, they can go to bed, because some of our people in our guild, like Dharma and Karsa, sometimes have jobs they have to get up early for, so we want to make sure that people are being accommodated to get some sleep and such. And then later on, especially once we get our AOTC, then we're probably going to cut it down to just one night. Usually just Wednesdays, and then Thursdays we'll either have a night off, we'll do something else differently. Sometimes we'll have a movie night. So, okay, looks like Jesse is back. His dog was pawing at him the entire time. That's cute. Dog's just pawing at him the whole time, like, I need to go out. I wonder why I'm not hearing the I think it's maybe because I'm using bigwigs, not DBM. Oh yeah, our food buff wore off, so we gotta put down another feast. And I already used my second flask, but of course this is why I have my own flasks, so I don't have to use another one in case I don't drop a cauldron. So, excuse me. This assisted highlight has been very interesting. I'm sort of like testing out how well this is doing, and honestly it looks like it's actually doing fine. So, and I'm sure me having decent gear and actually doing what are considered the recommended builds is helping, but still. It's been very interesting watching the reaction that people have been having to the assisted highlight along with the one button rotation, which I have not been using. But I've heard some people react to it interestingly, so. Alright, it sounds like we're all about to get back to... Bull was talking. And he didn't know he was muted. Bull already lost his train of thought after explaining the first couple mechanics. I'm listening to them talk about the mechanics of the fight. I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind them. I honestly wish I could have run my ad break during that 5-minute break we had. Very ill-timed. Did we talk about the black hole we have to avoid on the other side of the room? I can mute what they say in Discord, but obviously, like, if you all see what they say in the raid chat, well. Alright. There's the feast. Get our food buff back. Oh, that's not a good sign. Alright, I'm gonna entertain this, but honestly, this could be a problem. As I've said before, I don't like using these alternate forms on a Demon Hunter, because at times it gets a little weird, with, like, especially when I meta and all that stuff, so I may actually end up at some point turning this off.
5,
Now, yeah,
4,
so...
3,
And I'm probably going to
2,
go ahead and do that anyway right
1.
now as we pull this.
Must not be stopped.
And my opener is all messed up already.
Invoke collector.
Yep, my opener is all messed up. My bad. Alright, here they come.
Astral harvest.
Complete. Wither and die.
Arcane obliteration.
No interference.
I don't know when we're going to attack that collector over there. I'll just wait for Dharma's call on that. I apologize about the ad break happening right now, folks. We are not attacking the collector yet. But behind you, oh, you're Dharma, you're asking too much for some folks.
Arcane obliteration.
I joke, I kid.
Astral harvest.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yikes.
Astral harvest.
Well, I kind of kept it in the middle of the room, so. Little chaotic. I'm not entirely sure if I actually did that wrong or not, so we'll see.
Arcane expulsion.
The pylon's energy grows. The ritual is almost complete.
The ritual is almost complete. Alright, so now he gets a big 99% damage reduction here, so.
Photon blast.
The machine.
It's probably
Photon blast. Photon blast.
that one. Yeah, it's gotta be that one.
Photon blast. Arcane convergence. Arcane convergence.
You cannot stop the ritual.
Photon blast. Photon blast. Photon blast. Photon blast. Arcane convergence.
I will prevail. The ritual will continue. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lana Splinter. Invoke Collector.
The ritual must continue.
Nope. Alright, we can't jump off. Alright, we'll just stand in the waves and take damage and such. So.
Astral Harvest.
Wither and die.
Astral Harvest. Arcane Obliteration.
I'm just gonna stand here and die. There we go. Alright, so we wiped there, so.
No. My machine will fulfill the prophecy.
We're just trying to figure out what it was that actually wiped us there, and the amount of damage that came out, and try to see how do we deal with it. Because we're trying to see if we did something wrong, or if that's something we just have to heal through. So, Grimace on par. Mana pots. I thought that's what he said. He meant mana buns. Oh man, Acrylic. I feel like that's a reference that not many people would get, at least amongst this group. That's a reference that you would have to explain to some of the younger folks in the group. I got what you were saying, Grimace on Barney, but my goodness, when it came to the purple on purple violence, oh my gosh, Acrylic and Nos are quite the duo when it comes to their jokes and references, but I love them both for it. In Mythic Trap, They're checking the logs to see what it was that did all that damage to us and trying to figure it out, so. Or was it the Arcane Convergence? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we have to like start DPSing the highest energy one like the moment we can. Alright, I think we now kind of know what to do and how to prioritize this a little bit better. So, we also take advantage of the fact that there's a hammer here. Repair myself, 148 gold, not bad. And let's just try again. See, this is what I was actually expecting. Not us to one-shot every boss here. That some of these bosses we were going to have to, like, try to figure out and learn some of the mechanics and such. So.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
My important work cannot be interrupted.
Invoke
I don't think this is what Wowhead suggests when it comes to the opener, but I'm sort of going by what the assistant highlight is telling me. So let's see how it reflects on the meter.
Astral Harvest.
It's probably not recommended, but I don't know. We'll see.
Arcane Obliteration.
No interference.
Invoke Collector.
Order gather.
There we go. We can't attack the collectors right now because they have that big damage reduction shield on them, so we just have to wait.
Astral Harvest. Arcane Obliteration.
No interference.
Astral Harvest.
Wither and die.
Astral Harvest.
Yikes, yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes.
Arcane Expulsion.
The pylon's energy grows. The ritual is almost complete.
Alright, so those... They both basically have no energy at the moment.
Photon Blast. Photon Blast. Photon Blast. Photon Blast.
A minor setback.
Photon Blast. Photon Blast.
Sometimes the tab just doesn't quite target what I want to, so that's why
Arcane
sometimes I just
Convergence.
feel like I need to click on the target just to make sure I'm actually targeting the correct thing, so... Oh gosh. I actually am out of cookies, I just realized, so...
What is feeding him?
Alright, we got them down, good. Very nice.
3, 2, 1.
Mana Splinter.
Yeah. Rawr, 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 rawr.
Invoke Collector.
Why is Jesse typing ape strong together? Is that a macro he has? That's actually really funny. Purple waves, purple
Astral
waves,
Harvest.
purple rain. So much purple.
Astral Harvest. Arcane Obliteration.
Feed on your energy. No energy waste.
Man, these echoes have quite a bit of health, it looks like. Alright.
Arcane Expulsion.
The pylon's energy grows. The ritual is almost complete.
Photon Blast.
On the left, on the left.
Photon blast. Photon blast. Photon blast. Arcane convergence. Photon blast.
Oh gosh, I got hit by that really hard. Ouch, that hurt. Ow, ow, that hurts.
Photon blast.
You may have disrupted my ritual.
Oof. That was close.
Mana splinter.
And we got launched to this side because there's gonna be a big black hole right there.
Void harvest.
Wither and die. I like this guy's voice.
Void harvest.
We can't let these touch the big black hole there, otherwise it's just an instant wipe. So yeah, this is gonna hurt, but we have to make sure we DPS these down. We can't just ignore them, so. Trying to, I guess, kind of drop the pools in a place where it's not gonna hurt my team here. And we have to keep doing this while trying to avoid getting pulled back. So imagine you're playing a caster where you have to stand still to cast. I can just kind of keep moving forward and keep jumping this direction, but man, yikes. This is a... Oh man, it just keeps... Go ahead and drop that again, just to help us out. But holy mackerel, the pull is getting stronger. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. 3%.
Void harvest.
Yeah. I have all these ways to keep going. It's 1%. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Just 3,000, 300,000. Yeah. Oh.
What zealotry, what loyalty, sacrificing himself. If only the rest of you had that kind of commitment. You will need it now. Demencius' reformation.
Just the
is
way,
inevitable.
just like the pull just kept getting stronger and stronger. That's why that's the race aspect there, because they know eventually the pull is just gonna be too much for us.
Apart and will quickly wake Demencius.
Pretty much, yeah.
Zalataf and I will try to stabilize the Manaforge.
What is my
The rest of
current?
you,
Yeah, I've got champion
evacuate to the
feed, so I
waves
can
and
just
find a way
pass
back
on
in.
those. So
I will gather my forces and meet you once I've done so.
let me also make sure I'm looting to get my other stuff. All right, I got it. So. Oh my gosh! Woo! Oh. Yeah, this is like the transport throughout the raid. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it is like the ones in Old War. You don't say.
Many deals
I did.
for a friend of
And it was happening right as she was saying, hey, there's holes in the bridge. And I'm like, oh, okay. And the 7 rise I'm falling through. Oh, there they are. My brethren. Oh, okay. Never mind. Whoops. I didn't know that was going to be there.
I have many wares.
But hey, this is our opportunity to mount, so. No, I was saying this is where we can mount. So you said you wanted to mount in here? Yeah. Yeah. It's alright, Carson. Just go ahead and release. It'll bring you to where we are. Yeah, no, they're teasing it for midnight, and I'm so looking forward to it. Well, no, they haven't confirmed it, but this is absolutely a tease for it.
I have many lucky doos you like. Many farewells.
Because Metzen just even flat out admitted at BlizzCon that that Midnight's going to be the full-on Void versus Light expansion. So this is absolutely a tease that we Demon Hunters are getting a 3rd spec focused around the Void. I don't think everyone, but definitely the Demon Hunters. Oh my gosh, Carcer. Jeez, Iris, tell us how you really feel.
Look, some poor souls lost in the waste.
Ah, that's the thrill I need. I need bigger prey.
Oh, I hope they try to run away. It's more fun when they do.
Yeah, Bacardi, we had a very thrilling 1% kill, or on the 4th boss we had just here, where it literally took Jesse having to stay alive to be able to get the kill, because all the rest of us were basically dead. So, yeah. So I'd say it's been pretty good. You know, Dharma has mainly been calling the shots with Bull as well, so, but yeah. But it looks like we're now going to finally try out the Soul Hunters, which you can imagine how much I've been looking forward to this, being a Demon Hunter player myself, so. There's going to be a lot in this fight. So if you thought the last fight had a lot going on, just wait till you find out about this fight. No, I wish. No, I wish I could do some of the things that these 3 do. Plus, I don't think they I'm glad you could be here, though, Bacardi. Obviously, I wish you were here with us on your priest, but if you can't, then I'm glad that you decided to pay my stream a visit. Appreciate you being here. What's cool? Hey, Yell. And I appreciate you being here as well, buddy. Like, watching the guide by Raycheck Pull about the abilities of this fight, it was like, oh, okay, I know some of these, obviously. But I certainly can't do it to the degree that these 3 can. It is cool, though, that we have to kind of all soak the hunt, which I just think is kind of a cool idea. So, I, of course, am... Unfortunately, because there's only 15 of us here, We were only getting 3 pieces of loot in this run per boss, so I obviously don't need this now because I, catalyst the other one. That would be nice though. Even though I did get that fist weapon earlier tonight, technically this is actually listed as my bis weapon alongside the crafted one you made for me, yo. So, but since I got that fist weapon, I probably shouldn't. Even though I'm technically the only one who can, so I guess if it, it's like, well, I don't know, maybe I'll put up the, or give Carcer the fist weapon and have somebody else roll for it, if anybody actually wants it, so. Yeah, the hunt. Yeah, Dharma's explaining the mechanics, so. I'm sorry, what now? Dharma said a purple plum bob. Now, this was actually listed as actually one of my better trinkets, at least for this specific spec, the Aldraki Reaver one that I'm having to use. The other one for Fell Scarred is, which one was it? Oh, it was this one. This is the other one right here. So I think like the 3 best trinkets I think I'm supposed to get are either this one right here, this one, or this one, depending on what spec I'm playing. So they're just explaining the mechanics. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, yo. If the Warglaive drops and I get it, I'll just give the fist weapon back to Carcer and have him put it up for a roll for somebody else to get. Well, see, Yell, the thing is, I was checking the Wowhead guide, and it's saying that right now, Fellscarred is the best pure target, or pure single target spec for Demon Hunters. So there's 2 different specs I'm having to use for this raid based on the fights. For 5 of the 8 fights, which are like cleave fights, I'm using this one here, which is Aldraki Reaver, and it also uses Exergy. It's considered the best single target for this one. But the other one for the other 3 fights, which are pure single target, is this one right here. And it's because of the set bonus. Right now it's just showing the Aldraki Reaver one. But it's because the Fellscarred one is 30% increase Immolation Aura damage, and then when Immolation Aura is active, it increases your Chaos Strike damage by 20%. That's one of the reasons why that's considered, right now, the best pure single target spec. So it's recommended for the 3 pure single target fights in this raid, but the other 5, I'm using this other Aldraki Reaver one, which is the cleave spec, basically. So I'll be using it, the 3, so according to Wowhead, they say use the Fellscarred one for Sentinel, Lumathar, and Fractalus. But the other 5 fights, just go ahead and do this Aldraki Reaver one because of the funnel damage and cleave that it does, so. Wait, what? Now they're talking about Jack Skellington and Jack Sparrow for some reason.
Many deals for a friend of the Grumbles, like you.
I cannot wait to see how this fight is on Mythic. Like, when they get to it in the race, I cannot wait to see how this fight is on Mythic. Just because I just want to see this fight really just show how, in lore, just how incredibly powerful and deadly demon hunters are. I love these fights where it showcases our classes at their absolute best in lore. Like, in lore, this is how the full potential of what our classes could actually be. And they've done this for other classes in the past. They've done this with Jaina showcasing the Frost Mage, as well as some Arcane. They did this with Gul'dan showcasing the Warlock, and etc., etc. Yeah, I understand, Bacardi. Like, I'm having to also work around schedule, at least, but I did make it where I'm unavailable to be scheduled to work on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so I could be here for raid, and they could schedule me the other 5 days, so. but since some hours are getting cut at work, that's why I've taken up streaming as well to try and get this going as well. So, oh, dude, I have my sympathies, because I used to work at a Lowe's. I was half an hour away from my house, so I understand what those long drives can be like. Obviously, yours is far worse than mine, but it was a little taxing, especially on the drives back home late at night. So, my sympathies, man. I'd be surprised if we one-shot this boss, because there's so many mechanics in this fight. It's probably one of the reasons why this fight is optional. People don't have to do this fight to progress. Yeah, I think they're talking, like Jesse and Bull are talking. From what I understand, the Void one does not get to be tanked. He just kind of like hops around, whereas the other two have to be tanked. So Jesse and Bull are talking about who tanks which one. And make sure you get in fast before the green circle surrounds us too fast, because it'll kill you. Alright. Here we go. No, we just have to, make sure we avoid getting hit by it at first, so.
Five, four, three,
Precast mass res,
one.
lol.
Face me or face the flames!
And there's the circle.
To the void.
Fracture your
Tuh.
and your mind. Feel my wrath!
Okay.
Blade dance. Spirit bomb.
It's still on me.
The hunt.
Oh, that's right. I soaked these with this. That's right. So I'm soaking two of them at the same time, I think.
Fracture your soul!
I love that the music from Legion is playing during this fight.
Feel my wrath!
Just as a reminder that, oh yeah, Legion introduced Demon Hunters. I-beam! I-beam back onto you!
Death. Blade dance.
Like a beast.
Spirit bomb.
She went delicious.
The hunt.
Escape!
Here we go. That was actually the hunt there, which I don't think we soaked. Also, unfortunately, it looks like Nos is actually a DC'd, so.
Void step.
Like a beast.
Blade dance. Spirit bomb.
I have you now.
Oh, look at this. All three of them are popping meta. Look at the Void meta. Dude! You have to soak the circles while avoiding going into the middle. Maybe I should help make sure that none of them actually get through. I don't know. Alright, just a few more seconds. There we go.
Fracture your soul and your mind!
It's so cool seeing all three of them just pop meta like that.
Blade dance. Spirit Bomb.
The lines for the blade dance. Oh man, that's funny. It's so funny for me personally, being a Demon Hunter player, seeing like liabilities in like these, you know, in this format as mechanics. I mean, like a glyph would be, you know, something like that. Yeah, I absolutely agree, yo. Because they have tons of glyphs for other stuff, but I don't know. At times it feels like they are not wanting to give too many stuff to Demon Hunter players, I guess. I don't know, because a lot of players hate Demon Hunters. I don't
Spirit
know.
Bomb.
Because Blizzard at times feels like they have to appease to the people who whine and complain about Demon Hunters.
The Hunt.
And it just gets rather annoying. Yeah, they do. Not everything, though. Because, like, even earlier today, like, I was discussing with somebody else that bee quest line that they introduced this week. I joked with her, like, okay, so Druid bee forms. You know, bee Druid forms. When? You know? Because you can't tell me that they wouldn't like to have some of that, you know? We need to kind of work on some of the health here that they have. Another intermission here. I think this is the Havoc one. It is. Yes, it is.
Run for your lives!
Yikes. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, if you get targeted, just try to avoid pointing at somebody else.
Fracture your soul and your mind. Feel my wrath!
This isn't going that bad. We're just now trying to make sure we get health down a little bit more even.
Blade Dance. Spirit Bomb.
Yeah, I know, yo, but even Ian was like, he wants to come up with like in-lore reasons before they introduce something like that to have it make sense within the context of the story, you know. That's the hunt. Ah, I didn't get in there, my bad.
And your mind. Feel my wrath!
Void Step. Blade Dance.
That was rather amusing. Bill was like, I need someone to grab my soul. And I was just like, okay, there's Spirit Bomb. Okay, that didn't hurt that much, but I know it's going to hurt a lot more in Heroic.
You won't escape! Fracture your soul and your mind. Feel my wrath!
Void Step.
Like a beast.
Blade Dance. Spirit Bomb.
Adaris.
Oh, I hope they try to run away.
Intermission.
More fun when they do. Fear and despair
Infernal
for
Strike.
all.
She's doing the fell devastation that the tanks do.
Infernal Strike.
And so now we just try to avoid it. There we go. Yeah, roars are great
Infernal
at this
Strike.
part, this particular animation right here. Because, oh, that hurts. And that's the last one.
Fracture your soul and
Now let's see if we can get this before they do all three of them together as like the basically the enrage. Yes. Because then the next one is they do all three at the same time. And that's like basically the
Blade
enrage.
Dance. Spirit Bomb.
Like a beast.
So let's see.
escape.
Oh, there we go. Alright, now we gotta focus
And your mind.
the layer in here.
Feel my wrath.
Blade
And
Dance.
we might. There we go. Yes, we did. And oh, look at this. That's because we hit Renown too for the in raid Renown. Huh. Leather chest. Trying to remember what I have. Veteran chest. I guess I can roll upgrade on that. Just obviously pass everything for now. And since the tier shoulder shop, I'll pass. Calamity's asking about the boots with fur on them. Wait, where? Oh. Oh yeah, it's got the fell on the outside, yep. I mean, that's just natural for me. Yeah, this is basically when I use my spectral sight. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, back in Legion, it was to spot demons in disguise, but yeah. Viewing the world through the perspective of a demon hunter. Now you all see what I see. Well, if I get either tier hands or a tier chest. So if I get, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, now we're going this way towards Fractalus. Yeah, the wall boss. Pretty much, yeah. Didn't he refer to it as like pizza slices or something like that in the video? Wait, hold on. Oh, I can't look at how they look transmog-wise. Interlopus chain boots. Hold on, I got... Can I? Yeah, okay. This is what Calamity was like. Are those boots with fur on them? Yep. Oh, I hope Nos comes back. Oh, I hear him. I think he's back. I'm gonna go ahead and roll upgrade for those. Since I would be upgrading from a veteran chest to a champion chest. Unfortunately, I've already used up my Callus charge, otherwise I could take that to the Callus and get 4-piece. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. And sadly, no Warglaive dropped from that boss, so I can't be all like, hey, I'll put the fist weapon back up a roll. But we'll see. What drops from Fractalus? For me, anyway. Oh, he drops... Wow, he drops a tier chest piece. Wouldn't that be fun if he drops that? And then I could get my 4-piece tonight. I don't recall seeing this on the... I'll have to take a look at the WoW. Let's see where this ranks. Because I have no idea. I do know it's not one of my best trinkets. That's one of the things I do know. So, did I? I did win that, so. I'll hold on to that for the time being and wait. Like I did with the other one. Where it's like, okay, we'll wait and see what the other boss drops. I'll be honest, I'm very surprised we actually just straight up one-shot the Soul Hunters. I'm pretty happy about it. I was just surprised considering the amount of stuff we had to deal with in that fight. I highly doubt there's no way we're going to do that in Heroic. Alright, yeah. Dharma's reminding us, so... I have to wait till Sigil of Spite's off cooldown. Alright, alright. Alrighty. There's Fractalus. Oh, hi, Katie. I gotta go do that extra thing. It is a little jarring having to go back and forth between Eldraki and Felsguard, because it's different styles. And again, it's just so funny to think about how, like, they definitely made it better for single target back in when we were doing the Rhubar Palace, when they changed that talent in this to make it where it does more damage to single targets. But it was definitely an AoE spec. Whereas now it's like arguably the best single target spec. But I just remember when they did this, it was like, oh, finally, it's actually really good against single target. The Shatterer. It's very similar model from other bosses we have faced in the past, just obviously looks a little different. But how many bosses have we faced where they have had this thing where it's just their top half with these big arms, just like... Roar! This is the safe area, and those are the other ones we are going to take the walls to. That's the tank one. Yeah. I wonder if it's because we have a small group that feels like we're having an easier time with some of these bosses. Like, we're getting less loot, but I don't know. Saladar just has an insane amount of stuff, so... It's going to be cool, though, that if we can actually, like, get a decent amount of time on Saladar tonight as well as tomorrow. Maybe we'll actually see Dimensius tomorrow. That'd be wild. They're talking about how, or discussing whether or not these indicates where they're going to hit, or if that's where the walls are going to be. And I think, based on what I saw in the video, that's where the walls are going to be. So we're standing here to have the walls kind of like go through here. And the crystals are kind of like the in-between. I think, based on what I saw in the video. But we'll obviously find out once we pull.
I have many.
I'll just go ahead and also put that right there as well. The pie slices, as Dharma called it. Yeah, he's literally going to backhand us into the walls. Wait, why is this showing that this is a mythic? I have this set to normal. But yeah, this is definitely a patchwork fight. This is where it's like, okay, this is where we gotta pump. We just gotta do a few of the mechanics right, but we gotta also pump. So we'll see how this goes. Double check your weapon oils. And double check your flasks as well. So I'm gonna just go ahead and refresh my flask there.
I have many, many wares.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think it's based on who gets targeted. Yeah, there we go.
Shockwave slam.
Yikes.
Crystalline shockwave.
Alright, so we didn't quite do that right. But that's okay. We are learning.
Crystalline shockwave. Shockwave slam.
Uh-oh. Alright. Bull died for a moment, but we got him back up.
Shatter shell.
Yeah, we gotta break those walls.
Shockwave.
The arrows are a little hard to see, so I don't blame anybody who's like having a tough time actually seeing their arrow. Can I get over these? No, I can't. I'm gonna pick this one right here and make sure it breaks this. Nope,
Crystalline
my bad.
shockwave.
I didn't.
Shatter shell.
Okay, here's the break.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I can't get around. Wait, I got stuck on the outside. And I am at like 1 health. Oh my gosh. Holy mackerel. That was a rather amusing interaction I just had there.
Shockwave slam.
I was not really sure how that was going to work.
Shatter shell.
I think I heard that those puddles are something we're going to have to deal with even more so on Heroic, I think.
Shockwave slam.
Oof. About to have a... Yeah, we're getting some lanes with 4 walls over here. Oh gosh. I'm going to... No, I can't do that. Oh gosh, this is bad. Ugh. No, that's bad.
Shockwave.
Yeah.
Shatter shell.
Yep, we have a bunch with 4. I didn't know where else to take that. Other than like, as I thought the lane over here we had to keep empty and safe, so. I mean, unless we can kill the boss before that. Alright, the middle has like 5 right there, or 6. And I think we just wiped. Because that is, what, 6 there? We're at 8%, but...
Enraged shadow.
Nope! Even with darkness, that just straight up killed us, yep. Yeah, we definitely need to manage our walls better. We just manage our walls better and we got this boss down. Definitely not a hard boss. Just a matter of managing the walls and DPSing them down. It was just rather amusing the way it kind of like had that interaction of breaking the walls. I wonder if Dharma's working on how to deal with the markers at the moment. Well, looks like we are about to have an ad break here. I think I'll go ahead and snooze this ad break for another 5 minutes. Just in case we may, I don't want the ad break to keep y'all from seeing us possibly getting the kill on this boss here.
I have many
Just go ahead and
lucky
repair
dudes
there.
you like. I mean, I could probably be the one who goes over to the far side over there. I could just dash over there. Yeah, visually it is a little hard to see those, so...
Do we want to throw down another feast before our food buff wears off? Yeah, I would. Yeah. Yeah, we can discuss whether or not we want to get some pulls in Saladar tonight, or wait until tomorrow after we deal with this boss. Now, so it sounds like we may not actually have raid night tomorrow because apparently Dharma and Karsh are not going to be here tomorrow.
5,
So
4, 3.
I thought we were going to
2,
have another one, but
1.
it's possible we may not. So let's see. So here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and also... I actually forgot to use my potion in the last pull. Again, it's just like I'm trying to remember, like, oh, that's right, it's a different spec. Going from Aldraki to Felsguard is just kind of jarring, you know? Because I didn't really have to do this in the last two tiers, but now I kind of have to. Yeah, going. We actually forgot to lust on pull. He's stuck. Oh, that's fine. Even if you're stuck in the wall, it'll still break you through the wall, so.
Shockwave slam.
I think our wall situation is doing fine. Still nothing on me, so I'm just going to chill right here.
Shatter shell. Crystalline shockwave. Shockwave slam. Crystalline
Yikes.
shockwave.
Kind of moved there at the last second.
Shatter shell. Shockwave slam.
Oof, the one way over there is definitely stacked.
Crystalline shockwave. Shatter shell.
I'm gonna snooze the ad break one more time, just in case we get it down here.
Crystalline shockwave. Shockwave slam. Crystalline shockwave.
Oh, yikes.
Shatter shell.
2%. I think we got this. We're good. Yeah. Woo. Yeah, progress in the raid. That's what the achievement is. Ooh. Oh, this is the set trinket. Hello. Mastery. Druid, Mage, Hunter tier piece. Alright, I am curious. Let me pull up my Wowhead list and see where do these trinkets rank? Probably not great, honestly. Okay, so that one is the Nether Prism is actually an A- trinket for me. And the other one is not even on the list. So I mean, I guess I mean, unless we want to just get a few pulls in just to see what it's like, and then just kind of like, you know, get a feel for it before we come back later. So. Alright, so we're going to talk about what we're doing tomorrow. So, I mean, I guess... Oh, Iris is just having all these awful, like, level 1 rolls. Well, I've got an adventure trinket, so actually I'm going to roll upgrade on that one, because it's A-, and it'd be replacing an adventure trinket for me, so... Bull said, Iris, avoid Vegas, because she's just having the worst rolls tonight. I'd be a little sad if we're not even gonna get any pulls on the Nexus King. Like, that's not even like on my trinket list on Wowhead, so I guess even though it's got mastery. Oh, that's because it grants intellect. That's why. That's why. Okay. Now that I actually read what it does, I understand why. Okay. Alright. Now I think it's fine to go ahead and let the ad break happen. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually like an A- trinket for me. But it'd be replacing an adventurer tier trinket, so that's one of the only reasons I'm rolling upgrade on it. Wasn't able to get another better trinket than that, so... So now discussing that rather than us doing more of this, we would do Ulduar tomorrow. I'd have to bring an alt that has not... And Bull is apparently talking in the third person now. So I think we're going to vote on just doing some test pulls on Nexus King for the next half hour, because that's all we have time for. Or just simply calling it here, and going to Ulduar tomorrow night. I don't know, because it would just be Bull raiding tomorrow, so. I doubt that's going to happen, getting one shot in 10 seconds, but yeah, there is a lot to process with this upcoming fight. There is so much in this next fight. Oh yeah, no, this is like on par with like Tindril Sage Swift. Yeah, that video is a 7-minute video. That's how much is in this upcoming fight. I mean, salad bar, yeah. We have a full row.
Many deals for a friend of the Grummles.
So let's establish what we're setting ready or not ready for. So we're voting on whether or not to get some. Yeah, we could try and help, like, get you into like a pug group, Nos, so that way we can get you that 3rd slot. Yeah, it would bother me too. It would bother me too. I'd be like, I gotta get that 3rd slot. Yeah. No, the 5th. I mean, unless we can find a group that's like at the Soul Hunters and just get into that group, and then that we could make that happen. It ain't that simple, Krillic. Oh dear Lord, Bull. Well, yeah, you get the hero from defeating Yogg-Saron plus the weekly of doing 5. Because we all get scaled down, so it doesn't really matter like what gear your alt is.
I have many.
Yeah, the weekly, yeah. Plus, if you don't have, say, either Mimiron's Head or Invincible or the Time Reaver, that Yogg-Saron quest also gives you a chance for those mounts to drop. So, I don't want to talk about Mimiron's Head. I have it. I have a screenshot if you want to see it.
Flesh-bound wretches! Shadow God! Stop their advance!
My Riftwalkers are decreasing
Oh,
their
that
numbers.
gave us a new respawn
This
point.
is taking far too long.
Oh, are we showing off for Time Reavers now? Okay, hold on.
Deal with Salhadar. My forces will hold his Shadow Guard.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I voted that it was okay for us to do a few pulls, just because I feel like once we start pulling this boss, we're gonna be able to learn it faster. Uh, yeah, I don't either. I have the auto repair add-on, so it just automatically uses my own gold for repairs. I never use the gold or from the guild. Oh, I'm sure. Just go to the forums. I'm sure you'll find plenty of people complaining. I mean, they introduced this thing. Of course, they're gonna make us use it. It'd be, you know. Oh my gosh! Okay, that's gotta go in the quotes channel, Bull. Do you want to add it or me? There we go. There's it. It's in the quotes channel. Yes, you are. Hi, Al. I appreciate you, I appreciate you watching via my stream. Thanks for that. Yeah, I'm on Twitch. Yeah. Just like Jesse. No, I'm a streamer on Twitch now. I've been posting in the Streamer Hub channel, like, you know, every time. I mean, I'm not on the level of Jesse yet, but I'm hoping to get there. Maybe someday, Nos. Aw, yeah, thank you. Well, I am for the realms. Didn't somebody say he was at a party or something tonight? There's a party wherever Paul goes. he's Now I'm just picturing Paul going, the party doesn't start until I show up. uh, oh, Carson, you didn't collect all the stuff from Pandaria Remix? Aw. Well, you'll have a chance for the Legion stuff with Legion Remix coming soon. Yeah. Because if we were able to get all the Pandaria mounts that well, we're definitely going to do this for the Legion ones. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. Yeah. Yeah, like 11.2.5, so... Yeah, that's going to be a little whiles away, though, so... Because they're going to give us time to play with this content before that happens.
I have many lucky doos you like.
Yeah. Yeah, this is basically the same pace that we got the Undermine rep. How to do on my crest? Okay. Let me see what I can do when it comes to upgrades here.
Zeal is just another kind of oath.
Let's see here. I don't really want, but hold on.
The trust will save
Let's
us.
see here. There we go. Put that there. Hmm. I think you might be the only one, Iris.
At last, we return to Karesh. It is good to see our ethereal kin again. We have toiled endlessly for this day.
What, who? Dharma? Or Carson? No, yeah. No, Bull. No, Bull. I learned right away these two are actually not innocent. I learned that when we play. I learned that when we played Cards Against Humanity. They are not innocent.
Wealth can solve any problem. Always a pleasure.
Alright, let me now grab a couple of enchantment upgrades for these.
Many deals for a friend of the Grummles, like you.
I'll fix the transmog in a moment. Let me see here. I think it's this one. Let me just double check Wowhead when it comes to my enchantments and such. Stormbound armor kit, yep. So yeah, one of them. Alright, let's and no, I think we're talking George W. Bush waving at Stevie Wonder way. No, yeah, that's what I'm referencing. So I'm up to 690 now. Nice. So I've got the Council's Guile there. I mean, now to fix the transmog. Let's see here. We'll stick with this for now until I get more of the current tier set. There we go. The Forrest Gump meme? Yeah. Lieutenant Diane! So, let's see. Because I already took a lot of my other characters to Yogg-Saron earlier today, if we are going to do Ulduar tomorrow, I'm going to have to figure out what class to take. Because I've also already done the weekly of my Demon Hunter, so taking my Demon Hunter is pointless. So when it comes to my alts, I guess my Evoker could be an option, because I didn't take my Evoker to Yogg either. My Monk hasn't gone, and neither has my Warrior. Neither has my Rogue, but I have no intentions of really playing my Rogue. So... I suppose... I mean, there's a number of other characters I have. I mean, this Mage also hasn't gone to see Yogg either. So, I suppose... I could also level this Demon Hunter to 80 and maybe then take her to Ulduar. Because there's just no reason for me to take this Demon Hunter or some of these other characters there when they've already killed Yogg-Saron. It's just a matter of which of the alts I haven't taken to Yogg-Saron should I take to raid tomorrow. Wait, Yell, which one are those, The ethereal routing stations? Remind me what those are again? Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Can we have a little talk? I mean, there's a number of other alts here I possibly could still get to 80, but huh. Gonna move him up here since he's 70 already. I don't know. Like, some of these other classes I really have not bothered with that much. The only alt I've really messed with a lot other than my Demon Hunter is my Warlock. Just because I really enjoy how it works in like delve content and such. And then of course, you know, the tanking I do is usually on my Druid here. I do like messing with some of the other classes like the Mage, Paladin, Death Knight. Hunter is also fun for that delve content with the pets and such. It's funny that Razan is just kind of standing there still. Just not really sure. I guess I'll try and figure out what I could bring tomorrow. But I think that was a very nice first night for us in the raid. 6 of 8, really nice. I would have loved to have been able to get some pulls on the last 2 tomorrow night, but it is what it is. Sometimes we just can't get that to work out. So I think this is probably a good spot to go ahead and maybe end the stream here. You know, I was kind of like, I don't know. But, yeah. I mean, I could probably try and maybe or see if there's any more Yogg skip groups. But if we're going to be doing Ulduar tomorrow, then maybe I shouldn't. So, honestly, I think I'm just going to go ahead and call the stream here, guys. So I'm just not sure if I want to raid somebody or if I want to just go ahead and end the stream. Let's see. Who have I not raided yet that I want to raid as paying back for having raided me before and supporting me? I think maybe Myrrh. I raided Eggs yesterday, and I haven't raided Myrrh yet, and she was the first to raid me, so... Or maybe I have. I actually don't remember if I actually have already raided her before. Hold on a second. Let me check something. I recall her giving me a shout-out. I think both she and Eggs gave me a shout-out at the same time. Yeah, they did. That was a week ago. And I'm sure they're both right now playing Stadium in Overwatch, which I could probably go join them if they want, now that we are calling raid here. Yeah, I think I may do that. Alright, so yeah, let me just go ahead and put this screen up here. And actually, let me go ahead and also get some of the Spotify music back on here. Let's see, what was I running? I think it was the Legion music from WoW, which is fitting since we're about to have the Legion remix here. So let me go ahead and kind of get that music back on here as I swap to the stream end image here. So we're gonna go ahead and call it a stream. I think that was a excellent first night. I was stunned. We actually one-shot the Soul Hunters. That's like the most surprising thing to me about tonight. We actually had more pulls on Fractalus than we did on the Soul Hunters, which I was not expecting, but it was a pleasant surprise. I'm very happy we pulled that off. Obviously, a little sad that a certain piece of loot didn't drop from certain bosses, but still a productive night. I still got a few pieces of loot myself personally. I'm at 3-piece now, so ideally, what would be nice if I can't get back into the raid again this week to do the last 2 bosses myself, which I don't know if I actually would want to do or not, just to give myself a bit of a, I don't know, like there's a part of me that wants to hold off and wait and do that with the guild, but there's another part of me that thinks, well, if I do, I'm giving myself a bit of a personal gain towards making myself stronger to help the guild raid group. You know, like if I was to get something or some stuff from the last 2 bosses, which would help me help them, like do our progression and re-clear next week, which hopefully like the majority of the regular group will be back next week, because obviously we were very, very short-handed tonight. We do not normally have just 15 people in our group, but it still kind of worked out that way. We were, going 6 of 8 was still really nice because we still got our full row. And even if I do get the last 2, it wouldn't affect the slots. It would just affect, at least I think the way they used to do it was that you had to kill those bosses to qualify for loot from those bosses to show up in your vault. I don't recall if they actually changed that too much or not. But like theoretically, if I was to, let me just kind of momentarily log back into the game here, just so I can look at the adventure guide, because I'm a little curious. I think only 1 piece of gear from the last 2 bosses is listed amongst my BIS, at least when it comes to the overall. Obviously, if I look at the raid list, then I'll probably see more from, yeah. So overall, my BIS neck is from Saladar, or Salad Bar, as everyone is calling him now. And actually lists one of the trinkets from Dimensius as one of my BIS trinkets. It's called Screams of a Forgotten Sky. It gives lots of critical strike. Your harmful spells and abilities have a chance to strike your target with an abyssal comet, dealing cosmic damage and amplifying their gravity to increase the damage of future comets by 5%. Upon death, enemies implode to deal cosmic damage per gravity stack split between nearby enemies. Damage increased by 30% per addition. Wow. That actually sounds kind of amazing. So this is a very interesting trinket list, and there's no on use there. So overall, it looks like it's saying that my BIS trinkets are the Astral Antenna from Lumathar and the Screams of Forgotten Sky from Dimensius. But my BIS neck is the Saladar's Folly, which grants crit and lots of mastery. So, like, if I could get those, like, on my own in a pug group, that would clear up me having to roll for it in the guild group and let somebody else get them if it drops. But again, it's like one of those, like, well, I went off on my own in a pug and got these kills, as opposed to sharing those kills with the group. But if we're, as a guild, choosing not to continue our progress this week and wait until next week, then it's like, meh, well, at that point, I'm just kind of like passing up opportunities to take down these bosses, which would also give me Valor Stones, Crests, and of course, like I said, chance at this loot to either get via dropped or get via the vault. So, and after tonight, I do have my new work schedule. I am going to be scheduled to work on Friday, so there will be no stream on Friday. I am scheduled on Saturday, though how long that's going to be is actually kind of up in the air. But more than likely no stream on Saturday either. I do have Sunday off, so there may be a stream on Sunday, and then I'm scheduled on Monday. So, there would be no stream on Monday. Now in a situation like this, you'd be surprised how often a lot of us will spend Monday night just trying to do last second stuff before the reset on Tuesday. So, like if I wasn't at work on Monday, I'd probably be doing last second stuff either on my main or alts before the reset happens. So, if there was any day, I'd probably try and see if I can get into a group that's on Saladar and Dimensius on my own. It'd probably be on Sunday. But if I don't, then oh well. I'll just go ahead and chill and wait for us to actually like have our progression next week. So I'm not sure how that's gonna go. I'll have to wait and see. As always, Moo, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. If any of y'all were lurking and just kind of checking it out, I hope you enjoyed what you were seeing. I'm sure it was a lot to take in, a lot to process. I was trying my best to actually explain everything that you were seeing in regards to like the raid bosses and just a raid in general. Like if you've never seen a raid in WoW before, that's kind of a glimpse of what it's usually like. A lot of chaos sometimes. And if that was just a normal. Just wait until you see what it's gonna be like when we are pulling these bosses on heroic, and just how much like hectic and like tougher they are going to be, you know. So, but I hope it's something that you guys enjoyed watching and can look forward to every Wednesday and Thursday as we continue our progression here in the Manaforge Omega. Wouldn't it sound more cool or epic if it was the Omega Manaforge? You know, doesn't it sound kind of cooler or more epic of a title, right? So, anyways, I'm gonna think about it and consider what I'm gonna do in regards to that situation, whether or not I want to share in that victory with my guild or try to do so on my own to aid them in the future. I'll try and decide and figure that out. In the meantime, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and call it here, and I am going to let's make sure that it works. Hold on a second. Let me make sure that I set this up correctly here. And we are going to raid Mariner, who I think is, yeah, it looks like she's in Stadium with eggs. I'm not surprised. I'm probably even going to offer to join them now that raid night is over. So you guys may end up seeing me on their stream possibly if they want me to join. Obviously, I'll offer and let them kind of decide what they want. No idea how long their queues have been going. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see y'all next time. Have a wonderful night. So let me go ahead and get the raid started here. So it's something that I'll try and figure out and keep posted. I'll try to be more diligent about schedule raids, so feel free to keep checking the schedule tab here on my channel, because I will try to be more diligent about letting y'all know if I intend to do some streams or not. Sometimes they could be spur of the moment and not announce. I don't know, but it's definitely something I want to do. So have a wonderful night, guys, and I will see y'all next time.